Welcome to the Sunday Inside Texas Live Show brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors, joined by some of IT's finest, Ian Boyd, Coach Dub. We're all a little cold, I'm sure. Maybe some are colder than others. Gentlemen doing okay? Handling the freeze all right so far?
Oh, yeah. The kids were taking, plastic lids and going down the driveway into the street. It's all just ice.
Yeah. I like that. Coach, you's pretty snowed in?
Yeah, iced in. I'm not getting on the streets here in downtown Dallas, but nobody's out walking, nobody's sledding or anything here.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen any kids running out in the streets yet. It's just a little bit of ice and a lot of dang cold out there. But again, appreciate you guys watching. Y'all please stay safe out there if you do have to get on the roads. And again, hope everybody has power and all that good stuff. We had a first minor little power outage here this morning, which is why we're about 30 minutes late. So y'all can put that on me. But appreciate y'all being here. We're here to talk some ceiling and floor for 2026 Texas. And yeah, apologies for the streaming right when the Gunners kick off. That's on me, man. Again, my apologies for being a little late. But yeah, ceiling and floor with Texas. But first, guys, if you don't mind, go ahead and hop on over to Inside Texas and join our community right now. You can take advantage of being a new member for just $1 right there. Come join us. See the articles from Ian Boyd, Coach Dub, Evan, Connor, Eric, the whole gang. Y'all come hang out with us for IT and become a new member for just $1 today. Alrighty. All right. I brought this up last night to you guys about ceiling and floor, and that being our topic. Coach had a pretty funny response. It could get ugly. I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say about our ceiling and our floor for 2026. Again, there could be late additions to this roster, and they might change ceiling or floor, but maybe a game, half game, who knows? Curious to hear what y'all think. Let's talk floor first. Obviously, still some big question marks about the offensive line, a couple of positions on the defense with maybe some depth concerns. But let's talk floor. Whoever wants to take it first. When you look at Texas, you look at the schedule, you got got Ohio State, obviously, in Austin. You got 3 pretty crazy road trips when you talk about Neyland Stadium, Baton Rouge, Kyle Field. You're playing 8 straight conference games to end the season. So let's talk floor first. Things get crazy for Texas. What are we looking at?
Oh man, I'm gonna let the boss man, the master up there go first. You gotta hear what Ian has to say.
I was just taking a look at. Let's just go ahead and recite the schedule real quick.
Okay.
Because schedule is everything to do with your ceiling and floor.
Absolutely.
So Texas State, Ohio State, UTSA, at Tennessee, bye week, Oklahoma, Florida, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, at Missouri, at LSU, Arkansas, at A&M. Quite a bit more difficult than this last year. If you can't get in at 9-3 in the SEC next year, then there needs to be some demonstrations in the streets, because that would be pretty wild, pretty unfair. There's going to be some really good teams that are going to have a lot of difficult games. But just on the surface, I mean, I think I would have said 8 wins is the floor before looking at that. I think you could get down to 6-6, 7-5 pretty easily if you have some problems or injuries.
No,
I mean, look at last year. You got to call it as it is. Texas was a handful of plays away from potentially being 7-5. You know what I mean? And again, we talk about the way that the Oklahoma game went. I mean, you're in a tight ball game there, and you have a big play to break a punt return and win that game. You talk about Kentucky goal line play calling is a little bit better. Texas probably doesn't get out of Lexington. You look at Mississippi State, obviously the way that game ended. Still grateful that Jeff Levy brought Kamario Taylor out there in a very obvious 3rd-and-run situation, and basically a play that I thought, Texas could stop them there. You're getting back in the game. You're going to overtime. Obviously A&M was a dogfight in the second half. You won 10 games. Grateful for that. But like Ian just said, I mean, a couple of injuries. I totally can see that. I'm not sitting here and, what, 6-6, 7-5. It is possible with the right amount of travesty, regarding injuries. Never know how the ball bounces. Texas is going to play in some close games because you have that type of schedule. But what are you thinking, Coach?
I'll definitely would go with the 7-5 take, right? So it's like you got some new faces that are coming in, right, that help out, and even though you expect portal additions to come in and ball out and do what they did at their previous school, like they still have to prove it and actually do it. So for me, it's the prove it year. I don't care about the offseason hype. I don't care what's on paper. You got to do it on the field. And so reading off their schedule, like it can be some tough teams out there, put us in some tough situations. Will we rise to the occasion in the moment? And will the coin flip the right way this time? Like you just mentioned in a ton of those games, it could have went the other way. So what if it does go the other way? I could see 75. Now I'm not expecting it, but right, like you said, a couple of injuries, a couple ball bounces the other way, you are 7-5.
Especially with that schedule.
Are you overly talented enough to overcome mistakes and penalties and all the other things you got to clean up that we haven't cleaned up over the past, I don't know, couple of years? Like that stuff goes into account for me. So it's gonna be interesting. But I got 7-5 as the floor.
If Texas were to hit our floor, give me the 3 biggest reasons as to why that happens. Injuries.
I would say
injuries number 1.
Yeah.
Schedule.
Okay.
And interior line play.
Yeah. And that's it. I mean, this are tough environments, and a lot of these teams on our schedule should be better than they were a year ago. I need to do a little bit deeper of a dive, but what about, let's go with Oklahoma. Is Oklahoma, Ian, do you think Oklahoma will be better in 2026 than they just were?
They're going to be better on offense for sure.
Yeah.
Defense, I don't know. Overall, I don't know. I haven't had a great look at them, but Parker Livingston is better than anyone they had at outside receiver last year.
Yep.
That could hurt Texas that he went there. They got. I haven't done a great breakdown of all their turnover, but I noticed they had a couple guys. They have tight ends now. They didn't have a single tight end that should be playing Power 2, Power 4 football last year, and now they've got like 2 or 3. That could have an enormous difference for them. Like that was such a crutch for them last year.
Yeah.
In general, there's that one. That one, I guess, is always sort of 50-50. I don't know. They don't really scare me right now, but Ohio State and then the road games at Tennessee, LSU, and A&M, those are all like 50-50.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
And then you still have Oklahoma. You still have Florida, who handled you last year, come to Austin. We're returning some core pieces to that team. Should be better coached. The road trip to Missouri, again, in Missouri against tough competition at home the last couple of years. They really haven't pulled off a big win against they played Georgia tight. They just played Alabama tight last year. But like A&M went into Missouri and, kind of blew them out. So like, I don't know what type of game to expect going to Columbus because, again, it's kind of late in the season. We'll see what injuries look like. We'll see how the teams are playing. It's a much more difficult schedule. There will be no jokes cracked about Texas in the schedule this year. There shouldn't be, at least. But then again, at the end of the day, man, we really never know like how difficult these schedules are. There's last year, I thought A&M had a pretty difficult schedule going into the season, and by the way, that turned out one of the easier schedules in the SEC. And in my opinion, we're already talking Sark to the NFL, man. It's Sunday morning, okay? Let's just hang out a little bit.
Oh boy. But
I agree with you guys. Bad O-line play, injuries, and then schedule. I mean, that would be it. The offense for Texas, obviously, in my opinion, should be better. But then again, will we be caught in some high-scoring games on the road? Can you get stops when you need it? Can you protect your quarterback and have the ground game, scoring the red zone, all those things? So I'm with you guys. I think if I had to pick a number, I'd probably go, honestly, 6-6. 7-5 is there too, obviously. A tough schedule. You just got to stay healthy, and you got to go to war week in and week out, man. But I am concerned about 8 straight conference games to finish the season. We get some pretty dang good competition. So, all right, real quick, guys, we're going to hear a word from our sponsor, Academy Sports and Outdoors. A very, very quick word, and then we'll be back to talk the good side, the ceiling side. We'll have some more fun, maybe get a smile in the panel.
Fast one.
Same-day delivery powered by DoorDash.
And we're back. All right, so ceiling time. Again, this is a team that, definitely improved itself on offense. You've got some pretty dang elite talent in certain positions on defense, but still defense depth at certain spots. Yeah, I'm concerned, and so my floor probably not going to be as high as it was going into 2025. I said 11-1 was our ceiling. What are you guys thinking for 2026? All things go right for the Horns.
I can see 10-2 just because of the schedule. For me, like you can go on a run, right? You got 16 in the backfield who may win games on his own, put it on his shoulders and take over, and we may outscore some people. So, yeah, you can't doubt the talent we have if it all clicks and goes together, right? Everything has to work in the right way. We never know what the other team's going to be like. On paper, they may look good or they're expected to be good, but they may not be as good once you get into the season. Just because it looks tough on the schedule now on paper, it may not be that way when the season unfolds. So I can see 10-2 just because Arch Manning takes over and the team just kind of gels and got a lot of older guys and the new portal additions actually ball out, right? And everybody adapts to the scheme, and nobody can figure out Cam Coleman, Wingo, and Mosley, combination, right? And then with the running game, so with Smothers and Brown, maybe we outscore some teams and go 10-2.
I'd take 10-2 right now. What about you, Ian?
I don't really care as long as they make the playoffs. So I don't know what, and with that caveat, I don't know I wonder if that kind of caps the likelihood of winning 11 or 12. Because you just don't need to. So you may not push as hard. Although, I mean, Indiana just went undefeated, right? But
Sure.
Indiana did not play this schedule until they got to the playoffs. 3 out of the 4 teams that have played for a championship in this new expanded era had to play a first-round game and did not have a bye. Notre Dame, Miami, and Ohio State were all lower seeds. They just got on a heater in the playoffs.
Sure.
And for an SEC team, especially that's playing on the road, and like A&M, LSU, and Tennessee are like maybe the 3 most hostile environments in college football to play, especially if it's a night game. So just get to 9 or 10 and get in, and nobody cares. And then obviously handle your business in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Just getting in. Yeah, I'm of the same mindset. You get in, you get a little bit of time to work on yourself, and then it's anybody's game. Assuming that we're healthy, get everybody right. You have a chance to go on a run. Doesn't matter what seed you are. I just want to be in the dance. Absolutely well said there. Let's rank these 3, or how's this 4 opponents? All right, Tennessee, LSU, A&M, and OU. I'm going to go first for you, Mr. Scooter. I appreciate you watching and commenting a lot, brother. I wish the Tennessee games and the LSU games were flip-flopped, because you get LSU a lot earlier. You're talking late September is when we go to Tennessee. You get LSU a lot earlier before maybe they have a chance to really gel, but we're getting them later in the season. Tennessee, in my opinion, they have some depth concerns on defense. Same thing that really, really kind of hurt their team last year. They started giving up a ton of points. Go look at them playing Oklahoma. They couldn't stop the Sooners in the second half. So that should tell you a little bit about what you need to know with their depth, or at least in 2025. And so I wish we had that game later at Tennessee where they had a chance to go through their schedule. They had a chance to get beaten up a little bit. But if I had to pick those 4 and in order, I would say Tennessee would be my least of a threat. And then I would go to A&M. I go OU, and then I go to LSU. I'm very worried about going to Baton Rouge. I do think Oklahoma might be a little bit better than A&M. I trust what they have on offense. Shockingly enough, a little bit more than Marcel Reed and what the Aggies are going to put out there. But what about you guys? Those 4 opponents, who gives you the most concern to the least concern?
Oh man, I'm going Tennessee first because it's early in the season, and usually that offense is really, really good early in the season. Like they start to dwindle down. It's not as good late in the season. I guess everybody figures them out, and it's like but at the beginning of the season, like Tennessee's tough, and if it's a night game in Knoxville, it can be pretty tough. I'll go LSU after that, just because LSU is just I don't know, man. I want to go as a fan just to experience that. But I think LSU at night with Lane, the whole build up, everything, that's gonna be something great. I would say A&M third after that. We've already been there, right? We beat them when it was supposed to be the loudest crowd. Like the first game back after so many years, it didn't really affect us. So, and then OU is neutral. So, I think that game has it's a thing of its own, honestly, when it comes to that. I guess when you're on the opposite side of the 50, it's loud, it's crazy, but everybody's kind of been in that game before, right? It doesn't matter. You make a big play, you flip the side of the field, and you're not even worried about the crowd anymore.
True. What about you, Ian?
Yeah, Oklahoma scares me probably the least. A&M, 3:00. Tennessee, I need to know a little more about their team. I need to see what they did in the portal. I usually wait for the portal to shake out, and then I see how things look. So I haven't really had a good look at Tennessee. But on the road, did they end up getting Aguilar back? I assume so. Did he get like a waiver from the NCAA, the quarterback?
I believe Aguilar's back.
Yeah, I think he's back.
I think they had some of their better receivers back too. So that one's going to scare me a little more. And then LSU's number one. I think Lane Kiffin in year one, every year is year one with how he uses the portal. They got Levitt, right?
Mhm.
That was the one that they landed on. They got like some guard that Texas should have had. They got some Ole Miss guys that were good. Probably maybe more to come. I don't know. I haven't had a good look at what they've done, but I'm just assuming that LSU and wherever they found the money to pay his contract and get his NIL demands, maybe there's going to be some Saudi oil money flowing in there or something, and some Emiratis patches on their jerseys. We'll find out, but that's that team I'm definitely afraid of.
Yeah, I mean, I understand why. On Joey Aguilar, they're still waiting to hear on the waiver. Beliefs are that he's unlikely to get said waiver, and even then, not a guarantee he plays for Tennessee. So maybe they don't have everything figured out over there yet. Again, this is something that Ian, you kind of hinted at it. After the portal truly settles, and after there are some late adjustments to these rosters, we could do this show again and have completely different answers for floor and ceiling both, and then we'd maybe potentially rank those 4 opponents as far as difficulty goes a little bit differently. Anyone want to touch on this one? It says Sark does not maximize the teams he is purchasing, rather it's due to evaluation or him just struggling to get the pieces to fit. Any comments on that? Has Sark failed to maximize the talent on these rosters so far?
Yeah, sure. They haven't won a championship.
There it is.
There you go.
So
pretty simple.
Yes.
You have a championship defense in 2024, and you have an offense with a lot of star talent, but struggled to move the football, especially on the ground, against better defenses. So just had to bring that up. I like the confidence, Mr. Tim. Think they'll be better than 11-1. And again, we won't know until we hit the field. Sometimes a very daunting schedule can look a little bit less daunting or more daunting depending on how things play out. We truly do not ever know. Roaster, enjoy the LSU game. Enjoy Baton Rouge. I don't know, man. I need to go over there just for the food alone. That's the best food state in the country. Give me all of the Cajun, all the spice, all that good stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be a tough schedule. There's no way around that. You're going to have to show up and play big boy football. You're going to have to stay healthy. You're going to have depth at positions. Some of these young guys that are on this roster that had big star power coming in and some of these big recruiting classes, they're going to have to step up and be ready to play ball, man, because you got to have depth. I am curious, Ian, if Texas were to go, let's say you start out 10-0 in the year, 10-0 or 11-1, to start go the Kirby Smart route and almost start like putting his players in difficult positions just to see like who's about it, like maybe who can help during a playoff run, simply maybe who can execute. I don't know. I do respect that about Kirby. I like that he in some games he's like, all right, we're going to use this as a situation to get better. Let me maybe find out about a certain guy or 2 or 3. But any other comments regarding ceiling or floor from you two gentlemen?
The Arkansas game, you could do that. They will probably be hot garbage.
Yeah.
The game sandwiching it at LSU and at A&M, that's going to be a little tougher, I think.
Right. Yeah. You're not going to do it 11-0 going to A&M. Arkansas is a good place for that. But I wish that LSU game was earlier in the season. I do love Arch Manning going in to see Lane Kiffin at Baton Rouge. I mean, like, it's going to be really a cool story for college football. There's all kinds of fun headlines all over the landscape. Here you go. If see the beanie, Salem Ellinger enters the game, coach, are you changing your allegiance? Are you anti-Sam today?
No, Sam plays for the opposing team. He's not a Longhorn today. That doesn't bother. And the rest of the guys that play for the Broncos, yeah.
Are you a Patriot? Are you a Patriots fan? Like for real?
For real, for us, since 1995, man.
Really?
Yeah, since a kid, I've been rooting for the Patriots. Actually, I had a family member play defensive back for the Patriots a long time ago. Mike Magruder. So I've been a fan since then. But yeah, no, they're an opposing team. Him, PJ Locke, little Jordan Humphrey, all of them. Yeah, no. Some Longhorn ties here today. Yeah, we gotta
Well,
lose.
that being said, who are y'all taking in Championship Sunday? Who do y'all got? Patriots, Broncos, Seahawks, and Rams. Who y'all taking?
Of course, I got the Pats. I think Seattle beats the Rams, though. I don't know. We'll see. That's gonna be a good game.
I usually just pick the team with the best coach and quarterback combination in the NFL. That usually seems to work out pretty well. So, unless Ellinger gets the call, obviously the Patriots. And then Stafford and McVay. I know very little about the Seahawks, honestly. I didn't watch them this year until I turned on, and they were just bludgeoning the 49ers. So it seems like the Seahawks may be pretty good, but I would just lean towards McVay and Stafford. Shula, I can't believe that the Steelers, my in-laws are all Steeler fans. I cannot believe that they took Mike McCarthy instead of Chris Shula at head coach.
Insane. I mean, shocking, to be honest. That fan base was revolting overnight. I saw some on social media who were like, let me do a deep dive. Let me ask around about McCarthy. And then 10 minutes later came back and were like, hell no, what have we done? I will say this, San Francisco, they've had defensive issues all year long. I didn't expect them to go beat Seattle, but I was obviously shocked at how that game played out. But like you just said, Ian, for me, it's hard to take Darnold over Stafford in a game like this when Stafford's done this before and he's been successful on this stage. But man, Seattle does look pretty dang good. And for Coach Dub, we'll go Pats. I'd love to see a Broncos upset, but for Coach, we'll take the Pats. There's so many Longhorns on that team, Coach. It's not personal. I promise.
No, there it is. Yeah.
There it is. I'm a Brady guy, so I don't need y'all getting any more rings without touchdown Tom. All right.
Hey man, look. Brendan Schooler needs a Super Bowl ring, man. He's a Longhorn. See, we got one too.
The best comment on that was somebody was trying to sell McCarthy, and they're like, this guy has a history of quarterback development dating back to Joe Montana with Kansas City. And someone was like, get the F out of here. You did not develop Joe Montana in Kansas City. That's like, we're not gonna let that one go.
That is hilarious, man. I missed that one. I'm sure that thread, whatever that comment was, I can imagine that whole thread is probably gold. To be honest,
yeah, I'll send it to you in a minute.
That's good. That's the good stuff right there, man. But all right, guys, appreciate everybody watching. Please make sure you throw a like on the video. Everybody stay warm, stay safe out there. I'm sure hoping school's canceled tomorrow down here in New Braunfels. I'm rooting it in like crazy. They haven't sent the text yet, but I needed to come on soon so we can just hang out here tomorrow as well. But Coach Dub, Ian, I appreciate you joining me this morning. And guys, until next time, I appreciate you watching Inside Texas.